Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to tell you right before I even get started, there's been noise around here lately. I didn't do a video yesterday, so there's a good chance there's going to be some banging or some construction going on in here, but this is tourist season, so it's hard to go out and find a place that's quiet. And man, I just got back from the market and let me tell you something, it is hotter than the seventh circle of hell down here right now. I mean, it is just brutal hot. But that's good. Back now, went outside, took a cold outside shower, and I'm good. This topic I'm doing today, I've been thinking about for the last few days, talking with a couple of people and just bouncing some ideas back and forth about veganism and raw veganism, or raw veganism and veganism in general, and how people have such strong ideas and opinions on this lifestyle. But when we really get down to it, what do we really know? What do we have to base things on? Now, before I get into even talking about it, this isn't one of those videos. I'm not questioning the vegan lifestyle. I'm just more or less want to make people aware that you have to put a little effort into this lifestyle. You can't just, when I first started this 2.5 years ago, I just thought it was going to be something as simple as living like a caveman off the land, just pick fruit, eat fruit. Well, for many reasons, our bodies are complex organisms. They need a large variety of everything out there, and there's just a lot of I don't know, I guess that's everybody's opinion, but in my opinion, there's just a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of extremism out there. There's a lot of people that are following extremism without actually doing their homework or looking around and searching for answers on their own. Because when we get right down to it, what are all these opinions based on? Like I say, how many long-term? Okay, let's think about this, and this is a very small number, and somebody will try to go back to cavemen or whatever. But let's just be reasonable and think just in general. How many long-term raw vegan cultures do we have as examples? Even long-term vegan cultures, like we can't go back. I mean, even people that we watch on YouTube and we read their books and look up to, these are people within our lifetime, and we have people within this movement, or the raw vegans in general, that have been doing it for 35, 40, even sometimes 50 years, but we don't have a large sample to draw on. So for people to make like conclusive, like this is how it is just a little bit short-sighted. I think the one thing I'll preach all the time is you have to have an open mind, and you have to be willing to listen at least. Like, I don't care, I can listen to anything. Listen to those conflicting opinions. Because to me, the biggest thing, and this hurts veganism in general, in my opinion, except for the people that have just totally come to it for probably the best reason, because of the animals, and then second, because of the planet, and then third, for our mere puny humans, our health. But, what happens a lot of times is people they just don't want to take responsibility. You see so many people, like, go search YouTube and see how many people, and just say like, I'm not vegan anymore, I'm not raw vegan anymore. See how many videos pop up with their story of why it's not sustainable, and why you can't live on a raw vegan diet long term, or why you can't even live on a vegan diet long term. And a lot of the times, I suspect, and I've actually seen in a couple of cases, these people had approached veganism in one of these extreme manners, where you just eat this, or you just eat this way, and then they had deficiencies. Maybe they had some real health problems, and then they go totally in the other way and start blaming the diet, when if they had actually done a little research, given a little thought to it, listen to varying opinions instead of just jumping onto a bandwagon, or jumping onto a movement, or even worse, just glamming onto one individual that has a certain spin on this. There's a lot of people I like out in YouTube land to watch, but nobody is God to me. I haven't found anybody yet, even if I put my top 3 or 4 YouTube people and I thought about them. They're not God to me. They're not infallible. They're not anybody that I'm going to hang on their word no matter what they say. Like I say, things go in my ears, through my brain, it's filtered on down, and somewhere in there that intuition, and I don't know, some people think intuition is silly or it's just imagined, but somewhere that intuition, even things that scientific concepts or things about the body that are above my understanding, even when they're above my understanding, some of them intuitively make sense and some of them intuitively don't make sense. Some of them make sense once I try it out on my body. Some of them don't make sense once I try them out on my body. So don't put anybody on a pedestal as some sort of an idol, some sort of a god, some sort of a guru that you will listen to pretty much anything they have to say. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it, at least if you're not, I tell people, if you're not going to do it the right way, at least bow out gracefully when you bow out. Don't make the video or don't go proclaiming all over the place that the vegan diet doesn't work, it's not sustainable. I'm going deeper and deeper. You remember I did the B12 video and was talking about the deficiencies, and why I haven't gotten back to doing any more videos on that yet is it's just such a deep subject, I'm looking in, and one thing leads to another, and there's a lot of conflicting information. And like I say, not being scientifically oriented, I have to pour through a lot of stuff. I have to ask a lot of questions, and I have to just kind of pour through a lot of, boring, kind of mundane things to just get to what I could consider valid information. Like D3 is something I'm looking into right now, just for the absorption of calcium. And I want to get back to iodine. But see, these are the things you have to do, and you have to do those for yourself. You have to take it upon yourself to search for possible deficiencies you can have. Search for, anything that you need to be getting into your body that you're not getting into your body. Search through, I don't have problems with food combining as far as digestion, but I do know, I've just scratched the surface on that a lot of things, it's like, okay, if you're going to absorb this, you have to have this in your body to absorb it. So it's more than just like, woohoo, kind of this hippie thing, oh, we're just going to sit around and breathe and eat fruit all the time and throw a few greens in there occasionally. No, it takes a little bit of work, it takes a little bit of thought process. But 2.5 years into this lifestyle, my conclusions at this point, and your conclusions can change all the time, is that I can do a raw vegan lifestyle quite well and be healthy and be well-rounded. I'm going to have some problems along the way. I might have to adjust that along the way, but I feel really confident that you can live a long-term life on the vegan lifestyle. Like I say, even if you're not eating mostly raw, you still have to do your work when if you're a vegan. It's not just as simple as eating fruits and vegetables. That's the version. That's like the recruiting poster to get to get people in the door. Just eat fruits and vegetables, and that's a huge part of it. But you got to get into those details when it comes to veganism. Anyhow, I'm just finishing the week with this one. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And haven't told you guys this week, I love you guys, each and every one. Peace.